Okay, hello everyone. Welcome back. I'm Nicodemus Kane. Today is February the 10th of 2022. Today I'm going to read Psalm 106. This one is definitely a long one. At least 2 pages, 2 full pages. So this one might take a while to get through. If we have any time left, we may discuss Biden's crack pipes because it needs to be discussed. It needs to be discussed. So, anyways, follow along if you want to, but we're gonna get through this. This is, like I said, this is a long one, so I'm probably going to have to stop a couple times through. Because, the longer they get, the more my nose starts acting up. My nose is already starting to act up. So, now the question is, did my nose start acting up because I just blew it? Or is my nose acting up because we all know that my nose is acting up? Or is it some combination of the two? Who knows? Alright, Psalm 106. Praise ye the Lord. O give thanks unto the Lord, for he is good, for his mercy endureth forever. Who can utter the mighty acts of the Lord? Who can show forth all his praise? Blessed are they that keep judgments, and he that doeth righteousness at all times. Remember me, O Lord, with the favor that thou bearest unto thy people. O visit me with thy salvation, that I may see the good of thy chosen, that I may rejoice in the gladness of thy nation, that I may glory with thine inheritance. Hold on 1 second. My lungs are starting to act up. Hold on. Starting to get really out of breath. That's better. Sometimes you have to inhale really deep, and then exhale. That way you can kind of reset them. All right, anyways, verse 6. We have sinned with our fathers. We have committed iniquity. We have done wickedly. Our fathers understood not thy wonders in Egypt. They remembered not the multitude of thy mercies, but provoked him at the sea, even the Red Sea. Nevertheless, he saved them for his name's sake, that he might make his mighty power to be known. He rebuked the Red Sea also, and it was dried up, so that he led them through the depths, as through the wilderness. Still having a problem breathing, man. And he saved them from the hand of him that hated them, and redeemed them from the hand of the enemy. And the waters covered their enemies. There was not one of them left. Then believed they his words. They sang his praise. They soon forgat his works. They waited not for his counsel, but lusted exceedingly in the wilderness, and tempted God in the desert. And he gave them their request, but sent leanness into their soul. They envied Moses also in the camp, and Aaron the saint of the Lord. The earth opened and swallowed up Dathan, and covered the company of Abiram. And a fire was kindled in their company. The flame burned up the wicked. They made a calf in Horeb, and worshipped the molten image. Thus they changed their glory into the similitude of an ox that eateth grass. They forgat God, their Savior, which had done great things in Egypt, wondrous works in the land of Ham, and terrible things by the Red Sea. Therefore he said that he would destroy them, had not Moses his children stood before him in the breach to turn away his wrath, lest he should destroy them. Yea, they despised the pleasant land. They believed not his word, but murmured in their tents, and hearkened not unto the voice of the Lord. Therefore he lifted up his hand against them, to overthrow them in the wilderness, to overthrow their seed also among the nations, and to scatter them in the lands. They joined themselves also unto Baal Peor, and ate the sacrifices of the dead. Thus they provoked him to anger with their inventions, and the plague break into. Let's try this again, verse 29. Thus they provoke him to anger with their inventions, and the plague break in upon them. Then stood up Phinehas, and executed judgments, and so the plague was stayed. And that was counted unto him for righteousness unto all generations forevermore. They angered him also at the waters of strife, so that it went ill with Moses for their sakes, because they provoked his spirit, so that he spake unadvisedly with his lips. They did not destroy the nations, concerning whom the Lord commanded them, but were mingled among the heathen, and learned their works. And they served their idols, which were a snare unto them. Yea, they sacrificed their sons and their daughters unto devils, and shed innocent blood, even the blood of their sons and of their daughters, whom they sacrificed unto the idols of Canaan, and the land was polluted with blood. Thus were they defiled with their own works, and went a-whoring with their own inventions. Therefore was the wrath of the Lord kindled against his people, insomuch that he abhorred his own inheritance, and he gave them into the hand of the heathen, and they that hated them ruled over them. Their enemies also oppressed them, and they were brought into subjection under their hand. Many times did he deliver them, but they provoked him with their counsel, and were brought low for their iniquity. None the less he regarded their affliction when he heard their cry. He remembered for them his covenants, and repented according to the multitude of his mercies. He made them also to be pitied of all those that carried them captives. Save us, O Lord our God, and gather us from among the heathen, to give thanks unto thy holy name, and to triumph in thy praise. Blessed be the Lord God of Israel from everlasting to everlasting. And let all the people say, Amen. Praise ye the Lord. So whereas the one that we did yesterday was basically a retelling of the Israelites going down to Egypt and Moses leading them out and leading them through the wilderness, this is basically a retelling of while they were in the wilderness, all of the people that turned their back on God went back after their own lusts to their own destruction. Because for everything God did for them, they still turned back, which is still happening today, which is happening to the best of us. Even myself, God has given me so much, and yet I still fall back into my sins every now and then. And I feel ashamed, and I feel guilty. And I come back, and I ask forgiveness, and I say, God, help me to do better. And we do a little bit better. But then there's always something. Satan is always giving you something, always tempting you in some way, shape, or form, always pushing something at you, throwing something at you. That's why it says you have to put away all these things. And I have put away a lot, but there's still things that I'm working on it. I'm not perfect. I am definitely not perfect. And I am definitely not the one to tell you how to do it, where to do it. That's something that you're going to have to find out for yourself. And definitely going to have to work on yourself, because I can't tell you how to fix it. I really can't. I pray every day that I will be able to resist the temptations for another day, and that I will have the wisdom and the understanding to be able to move forward and not be saddled with any more sin, if that makes any sense. So let us take a couple minutes of dead air, not minutes, seconds, a couple seconds of dead air, and we'll go back over this. Of course, I said I was going to work on the dust downstairs this weekend, or last weekend. I didn't. We did buy some spray duster, which is going to help. I hope. I did not buy any filters for the furnace or for the what do you call them? The vents down here. I still want to do that to be able to see if that's what's causing it, causing all the dust to come down here. Even though I've noticed that there's a lot of dust upstairs too, just not as much as there is down here. So I still think that maybe part of it was just us unpacking. We brought a lot of it with us, and as we unpacked, I mean, maybe it was also, after. I can't really say after the people left because this house sat empty for like 2 months. Surely everything would have settled. I'm still thinking that it was just us. We brought a whole bunch of crap with us. Whenever we opened up all the boxes, it all just went everywhere. I don't know. I'm still also thinking that it's the furnace, that it's, when the wind blows through, because I'm on the bottom, I get it the worst. There's not much upstairs, but there's, the middle level, there's a lot, and then down here there's a ton. Either way, it affects me. I've had allergies for most of all my life, so I've lived with it. So I'm going to continue to live with it. It is what it is. All right, let's start this one from the beginning. There are definitely some things we could stop on. I might not stop a lot, but we will definitely talk about some things. All right, from the top. Praise ye the Lord. O give thanks unto the Lord, for he is good, for his mercy endureth forever. Which we have heard a couple times before. Who can utter the mighty acts of the Lord? Who can show forth all his praise? Blessed are they that keep judgment, and he that doeth righteousness at all times. Blessed is he that keeps judgment and does righteousness all the time. Not just a Monday through Saturday, all the time. Or not just on a Sunday, and then you can just do whatever you want to Monday through Saturday. All the time. Which means that you have to move away from your sins. You will want to not want to do them. You will feel it in your heart to move away from them. I don't want to get back into that because we constantly come back to the same stuff over and over again. But I will say it until it sticks. Remember me, O Lord, with the favor that thou bearest unto thy people. O visit me with thy salvation, that I may see the good of thy chosen, that I may rejoice in the gladness of thy nation, that I may glory with thine inheritance. We have sinned with our fathers. We have committed iniquity. We have done wickedly. Because then the Gentiles will come back to him, saying, surely we have inherited lies because we don't know any better. And I think the next lines punctuate that. Our fathers understood not thy wonders in Egypt. They remembered not the multitude of thy mercies, but provoked him at the sea, even the Red Sea. So our fathers didn't know your wonders that you did in Egypt. He did not know what you did to bring your people out of captivity. Just like now, our fathers don't understand because they have been lied to so much to the point that they don't know the truth. They have followed the ways of this world so much so that they have moved away, strayed away from any kind of understanding of what power God actually has. There are more people out there now that say that God doesn't exist. There are more people out there now that say that God is just. They say that God is just a thing that you can rely on when you need things. That He is. Or they say it. Or they say she. There's a lot of people that want to say she. But they just want to think that God is just some all-encompassing thing that, is just out there that they can pray to whenever things go bad for them. Most people don't even do that anymore because they just don't believe. But that's what our fathers believed. Their fathers before them had something different. And their fathers before them had something different. They had more of a belief system. There was a far greater belief in the Most High, in the Almighty, in the God. But things have changed. Things have fallen away. And there are so many different things. Media, movies, television, books, just the counterculture nonsense that we all fell into, and we're all a part. If you're listening to me, you're unfortunately part of the counterculture, because the real people, the people that never stopped believing, the people that had the fathers that knew what was going on, they never once watched a television. They never picked up anything. They're living out in the middle of nowhere, living righteously. They're not succumbing to this. I know that sounds hard. That sounds hard and that sounds rough, but it's the truth. The people that never stop believing, they're living out as far away from the world as possible. And I think a lot of that is this drive to give everybody in the world this identification. Is they want to find everybody. They got to find all of the true God-fearing peoples so that they know where they are. So they kill them? I guess, I don't know. Or end it. Do something. I mean, that's the only reason. Because again, one thing that we've learned from the Psalms is they will hate you just simply for your belief. They will hate you and hurt you and kill you simply because you choose to believe something that they don't believe. And they will come after you and they will hunt you down. That is what the Bible says, word for word. And that, I think, is what is happening. It's this drive to give everybody this digital satanic identification and to give everybody some kind of injection to change their DNA, to take them away from being human to being what God made us. You can quote me on that. You can put it on a bumper sticker. Whatever you want to do. That right there it's the end game. It's the bottom line. It's what it is. But that line right there, our fathers understood not thy wonders in Egypt. You can just take in Egypt off. Our fathers understood not thy wonders. They remembered not the multitude of thy mercies. That falls in line with, at the end of time, the Gentiles will come back to God and they will say, surely we have inherited lies. And I say that every day. I have inherited all the lies. All right, verse 8. I think I might need to take a puff of our inhaler, man. Sometimes my asthma kicks up. That's what it feels like. It's like it's way down in the bottom. Verse 8. Nevertheless, he saved them for his name's sake, that he might know, or that he might make his mighty power to be known. He rebuked the Red Sea also, and it was dried up. So he led them through the depths as through the wilderness. And he saved them from the hand of him that hated them, and redeemed them from the hand of the enemy. And the waters covered their enemies. There was not one of them left. And this is, of course, the Red Sea. Then believed they his words. They sang his praise. Of course, when you see a miracle, you're going to believe it immediately. But they soon forgot his works. They waited not for his counsel, but lusted exceedingly in the desert, and tempted God in the desert. Or lusted exceedingly in the wilderness, and tempted God in the desert. And he gave them their request, but sent leanness into their soul. He wants you to be happy, even if that means that he will lose you. He is not a God that will immediately let you go simply for falling back a little bit. He would rather you be happy. You always have the option of coming back, and he proves it to you constantly over and over again that he is mighty. He is all knowing, he is all loving, he has the power to do whatever he wants, and he shows it to you constantly. You can believe it if you want to, but if you don't want to believe it, and if you want to tempt him and keep asking for more and more things, he will give it to you. But he'll take a little piece of you. He'll take a little piece of your soul. That way, when it comes time for that judgment, that will be something that gets pulled up. But what about this whenever you asked for all of this? What about this whenever I told you simply and plainly, just, follow my word, and yet you decided you wanted to do this? He will do that. That's right there in the book. He will do that. And he gave them their request, but sent leanness into their soul. They envied Moses also in their camp, and Aaron the saint of the Lord. The earth opened and swallowed up Dathan, and covered the company of Abiram. Now that I don't. That says Deuteronomy 11:6. Let's see if that's I don't remember that. It could be a thing. I mean, to be perfectly honest, Deuteronomy does kind of get a little slow. 11:6. Some of the first ones do get a little slow, and you tend to you wash over it. Oh, I don't want to go so far back. Let's go back verse 5. Chapter 11, verse 5, Deuteronomy. And what he did unto you in the wilderness, until ye came into this place, and what he did unto Dathan and Abiram, the sons of Eliab, the son of Reuben, how the earth opened her mouth and swallowed them up, and their households, and their tents, and all the substance that was in their possession in the midst of all Israel. But your eyes have seen all the great acts of the Lord which he did. How the earth opened her mouth and swallowed them up, and their households, and their tents, and all the substance. So while they were out there, I don't remember that happening. I don't remember. I mean, it could very well have happened. And again, it's one of those things that you might have just glanced over. I don't remember that actually being written down where the earth opened up and swallowed an entire family and covered the company of Abiram, Dathan and Abiram. That's something to look into right there. If you want some homework to do tonight, you look that up. Look that up and see what that's all about. That's wow. The earth opened and swallowed up Dathan and covered the company of Abiram. And I'm guessing those were the ones that were constantly complaining. In a fire. Sorry. Okay, verse 11. And a fire was kindled in their company. The flame burned up the wicked. And there was a fire, too. I must have missed that. I'm going to have to go back and read that because I don't remember that. But again, it could be one of those things where you just kind of, you either glance over it and you're just like, you come back to it and it's like, hey, there was a thing there. What? They made a calf. Hold on. Let me take some water here because my throat is starting to close up. All right. Yeah, it's still there. Don't you hate that whenever you just have like it's a dry spot on the back of your throat and you just can't get rid of it? They made a calf in Horeb, and worshipped the molten image. Thus they changed their glory into the similitude of an ox that eateth grass. They forgat God their Savior, which had done great things in Egypt, wondrous works in the land of Ham. There it is again. And terrible things by the Red Sea. I had always, I guess. So, Ham went south? Is that what it was? I always thought Ham went north. Because, what was the name of Jacob's brother? Oh God, I can't think of his name. Because he went north. He was the tribes of the north. So maybe that's what it was. Maybe, I don't know. That's so weird. 2 things of homework you can look up. Wondrous works in the land of Ham, and terrible things by the Red Sea. Okay. Therefore he said he would destroy them, had not Moses, his chosen, stood before him in the breach, to turn away his wrath, lest he should destroy them. Yea, they despised the pleasant land. They believed not his word, but murmured in their tents, and hearkened not unto the voice of the Lord. Therefore he lifted up his hand against them to overthrow them in the wilderness, to overthrow their seed also among the nations, and to scatter them in the lands. Which I have heard enough people say that, the the time that they spent in the wilderness was to weed out those that just simply were not going to believe, those that were not going to follow, were not going to trust God to take them through the wilderness. And eventually they would fall away, or they would be killed straight out, or they would be scattered. And it was, some people have said it was just a lot of the disobedient children of Israel. Sure, it was the disobedient Hebrews, but a lot of it also was the Egyptians that they took with them. They took a lot of Egyptians with them. It wasn't just all Hebrews. There was Egyptians that went with them that they I'm sure that some of them probably stayed and probably followed God. I'm sure, because that was part of it, is that God has always said from the very beginning, if the Gentiles want to be a part of the system, all they got to do is just follow our ways. and I will accept them. That's what God said. But I don't know where I was going with this, but um, but that was part of the reason why he said, "I'm not going to move you into the land yet because you're not ready. You ain't ready for this. I'm gonna take you out. I'm gonna try you in the wilderness. I'm gonna toughen you up. I'm gonna get you ready, and I'm gonna bring you back, and we're gonna fight some giants." That's pretty much what it was. That's pretty much what God said. Is, I'm gonna take you out. I'm gonna tough you up in the wilderness. I'm gonna, everybody that doesn't want to believe me, they're gonna get scattered because they're not gonna be a part of this. This isn't for them. But I'm gonna bring you back after that. We're gonna fight some giants, and you're gonna get your land back. It's pretty much what it was. Uh, where were we at? Therefore he lifted up his hand against them to overthrow them in the wilderness, to overthrow their seed among the nations, and to scatter them in the lands. They joined themselves also unto Baal Peor, and ate the sacrifices of the dead. Baal Peor, Baal, 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 Satan, just like Beelzebub. I know people say Beelzebub, but it's Beelzebub. All you got to do is just change that spelling. Pronunciation stays the same, pretty much. It's all the same stuff. It's all the same stuff. But they join themselves with it. Like you didn't know. Well, then again, people nowadays don't know either. There are literally things that have the word devil and Satan on them, and people still buy this stuff. They still they still go along with it because they just don't know. They just think it's harmless. That's probably the same thing that happened here. Oh, it's just harmless. They're not going to change us. It'll be okay. You know why? And I've talked about this before too. Do you know why they fell so easily back into it? Why they fell so easily back in with these tribes that they know were bad, that the other people of Israel were probably looking at them and saying, you probably shouldn't go over there and do that. And these people were like, they'll be okay. Because that's what they came from. They got pulled out of Egypt, which believed the same things that these people believed. And it was like, oh, well, that's just the way it used to be. Hell, let's just flow back into that. I've talked about this before. About Abraham didn't even blink whenever God told him to take his kid up and sacrifice him, because that's what Abraham came out of. They used to sacrifice children. He had no problem with it because he thought that it was a god that, just like every other god, he thought that was going to be okay. But our God, the Father, the Most High, he took Abraham up there and he said, "No, you don't have to sacrifice your child for me. I will give you something to sacrifice if you really, really need it. But you don't have to follow their ways in order to worship me, because I don't want that. I will give you everything you will ever need. I will multiply your seed 1,000,000 times over, as many as the sand, all the other kind of stuff. I will give you the land, the habitation, all the whatever it said. I will give you everything because you're going to be my people. All you have to do is trust me. All you have to do is follow me. And I will show you flat out. Very first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you that I'm not like them. I'm going to tell you to go sacrifice your kid, but no, you don't have to. I see that you wanted to follow that, but no, you don't have to. I'm going to do you better. I'm going to give you something better. That's what that was. That's exactly what that was. People don't want to say it that way because people don't want to. I don't know if it's because they don't understand that, what Abraham came out of was that bad, or if it's just that they don't want to think that God was deceptive in a way, and he really wasn't. He kept telling Abraham, "I'm not like them. I'm not like them. I will give you all of this, all of that. You just have to trust me. You just have to just follow me, listen to what I say. That's what he said. And he took him up. And Abraham was, according to other books, I don't know if it's in the Bible too, but he was, he was pretty distraught. He didn't want to do this. He didn't want to do it, but that's what he kept seeing. He kept seeing other people in the place that he was in would take their children and sacrifice them and to appease their gods. But when he got up there, he said no. God said no. No, here, I will give you something to sacrifice if you really need to sacrifice something. You're gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. I'm not like them. It's the way I read it. It's the way I read it. If you think that there's a different way to go about that, then please feel free to tell me. But it was a test. It absolutely was a test. It was a test of Abraham's faith, absolutely. But he didn't really blink about it because that's what he came out of. And that's what these people came out of. And whenever they saw other peoples that were doing the worst things possible, Baal Peor, which I don't know what Peor means, but Baal means that this is a city or a people of Baal. When they saw that, they said, "Oh, we'll just fall back in with that." That's been the problem since day one. Is that God keeps pulling these people out of these places, but it's very easy for these people to slip right back into it. That's why they call it backsliding. It's exactly what that is. It's backsliding. It's like, oh, I like this new way of living, but doing it that way was so much easier because I didn't have to give up on my stuff. I didn't have to give up on the lying and the cheating and the stealing and I could sacrifice a kid or two just to be able to have all the the wealth and the riches that I had. That's exactly what it is. Oh, come out of her. Come out of Babylon. Now, I'm trying myself. I'm not going to say that I'm any better or any worse. It's extremely hard, but it is more rewarding to come out of it. It is absolutely more rewarding to come out of it. And again, Satan will tempt you and give you all of the stuff that you used to have and make you think that you just want to come back. And it's hard. I get it. It's hard. That's a long, hard road, and you have to pray unceasingly. Pray every single day that the Father takes it away from you. New Testament says, pray every day. Get rid of those demons. How do you get rid of some of those demons? Through prayer and fasting. And again, I'm not the best on fasting. I've done it a couple times, and I came out and it was amazing. You go in there with prayer and fasting, and you come out on the other side, and you just feel like you feel clean. You feel absolutely clean. I have not done that in a long time though, because I am not prepared for that right now. I need to get back on that. They joined themselves unto Baal Peor. Baal Peor. That's 20. Verse 28. They joined themselves also unto Baal Peor and ate the sacrifices of the dead, which are pigs. Thus they provoked him to anger with their inventions, and the plague brake in upon them. I just had a flash inside of my head that the sacrifices of the dead could also be human. Because these people were cannibals. They were. The worst of the worst were cannibals. Because, nothing matters. You might as well eat a human. Just saying. Thus they provoked him to anger with their inventions, and the plague brake in upon them. Then stood up Phinehas and executed judgment, and so the plague was stayed. And that was counted unto him for righteousness unto all generations forevermore. Phinehas. They angered him also at the waters of strife, so that it went ill with Moses for their sakes, because they provoked his spirit, so that he spake unadvisedly with his lips. And that was Moses giving them the water from the rock, and because Moses didn't immediately praise God for giving it to them. I think he said something like, this is what I did for you. Are you not happy for what I did for you? He should have said, this is what God gave you. Are you not happy with what God has given you? He took the credit, and God took that away from him. They did not destroy the nations concerning whom the Lord commanded them, but were mingled among the heathen and learned their works. You did not put away evil people which God commanded you, but you decided it was easier to mingle yourself with the heathen and learn your works and learn their works. And that's not what God says to do. And they served their idols, which were a snare unto them. Yea, they sacrificed their sons and their daughters unto devils. Child sacrifice, all the way through this entire thing. But nobody thinks it's real. Still happens to this day. And shed innocent blood, even the blood of their sons and of their daughters, whom they sacrificed unto the idols of Canaan, and the land was polluted with blood. You have 2 fertility rituals in the spring. You have 2 sacrificial rituals in the fall. In the fall and in the winter. And you don't think these people aren't sacrificing children in order to be able to get power. You fools. What was the number? 200,000, 300,000, 300,000 kids go missing Halloween in October. The month of October, 300,000 kids go missing. And you don't think that's a problem? The ones that they don't sacrifice, they get put into the trafficking rings. You don't think that's a problem? You don't think that's real, even though everybody wants to tell you that this stuff is real. Every witness they ever put on a stand, every witness they pull out, and they talk about, satanic ritual abuse, and they talk about all this stuff, and nobody wants to believe them. And they can't think that it goes up to the top. Why? Because you believe that people are inherently good and they don't want to do that to kids? Bull. It still happens. It still happens, and they keep seeing it. And these kids keep going missing, and they never show up. Where do they go? Where do they go? Because they never talk about finding these kids. Over the past 5 years, we've talked about, I've seen enough articles talking about busting up trafficking rings where they are finding, 30, 40, 50 kids. That's a thing. That's a thing. It's only happened within the past 5 years. These things are real. This isn't just us making this stuff up. These are real. They have idols that they used to put children on. It's a pretty nasty, disgusting thing. One of these idols, I don't know if it's still sitting in the Vatican or not, but it's sitting outside the Vatican because, we have to embrace all cultures. There's one out there right now. A replica of... my brain is not going to give me the name. My brain is not going to give me the name. Oh, you suck. It is a replica of the statue that they use. My brain is not going to give me the name right now. I will probably think of it here in a little bit. This is what they used to do, though, man. It's sick and disgusting. But it is what it is. I have heard so many testimonies of people that have survived satanic ritual abuse that talk about them killing and eating children. That's sick. It's sick. It's disturbing and disgusting. And damn it, it's in the Bible. And God tells you to put these people away. But you won't. Because it's far easier just to mingle with them. It's far easier just to go along with them. Look, they have the better toys. Look, they have the better cars. Look, they're getting rich. They're getting rich, and all we have to do is just follow along with them. Stop it. Stop following evil people. I get a little worked up over this stuff because it's just insane that people just go along with it. Good, honest Christian people will just go along with it because nobody was there to teach them that this is what we're supposed to do. Because they were taught, oh, you're supposed to be nice to everybody, and just let things happen. Just show up one day. Just show up one day a week. You'll be okay. You don't have to. You don't have to do anything else. God, it hurts me sometimes, man. It hurts me so much whenever I read this stuff like this, and I know that it's still happening. This world is so messed up. I hate this place. Father, I want to come home so bad. Verse 39. Thus they were defiled with their own works, and went a whoring with their own inventions. Which makes me think that whenever people start talking about new inventions, just how bad things are getting. Therefore was the wrath of the Lord kindled against his people, insomuch that he abhorred his own inheritance, and he gave them into the hand of the heathen, and they that hated them ruled over them. Their enemies also oppressed them, and they were brought into subjection under their hand. You didn't want to follow God. So you went and followed the easy way, the broad path, as I think Christ would put it. The broad path, not the narrow path, the broad path. You chose the broad path. You chose to go follow the idols of other people because it was easier and more fun. Because they were just having fun. They were having more fun and it was easier. You chose to follow that. So God gave you to them, and they ruled over you, just like they do now. Chose to follow the easy path, and God ruled, just let him rule over you. That's exactly what that says. Many times did he deliver them, but they provoked him with their counsel, and were brought low for their iniquity. He just kept pulling you out of the fire and pulling you out of the fire, and you just kept going back. Nevertheless, he regarded their affliction when he heard their cry, and he remembered for them his covenants, and repented according to the multitude of his mercies. He made them also to be pitied of all those that carried them captives. Save us, O Lord our God, and gather us from among the heathen, to give thanks unto thy holy name, and to triumph in thy praise. Blessed be the Lord, God of Israel, from everlasting to everlasting. And let all the people say amen, and praise ye the Lord. And I feel deflated now, because it does absolutely hurt me to think what's going on, and people just don't listen to it. They don't follow it. They don't understand it. They think everything is just hunky-dory. And it just leads people more and more down into destruction. And it is sad. It is sad. Um, logging into my computer. Um, so anyways, who wants to talk about crack pipes? Unbelievable. So if you didn't know, the in order to prevent the transmission of diseases and problems, I'm guessing in order to prevent the transmission of the COVIDs, which within itself is just absurd. Oh, they actually saved my. Okay, that's good. They they are giving out free crack pipes to drug users so that they don't transmit diseases between each other. I will look it up. Sorry. I will look it up over here. Let's see. Because if you look up Biden crack pipes, you go to news, and of course, everything is immediately talking about fact checks. No, the Biden administration is not spending $30 million on giving people crack pipes. No, the fact checkers are saying, no, that's not what this is. Provided funding as a part of efforts to reduce harm from substance abuse. We're not reducing substance abuse, we're reducing the harm of substance abuse. Let me check and make sure I'm still recording. Okay. But they're saying that, these people, they're saying that, God, the Republicans are saying that we're handing out crack pipes, and, the deadline for applications was February the 7th, 2022. Oh my goodness. The Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration, part of the HHS, issued a notice for funding for the 2022 Harm Reduction Program grant on December 8th. Okay, so this is for preventing the risk of spreading different diseases. This includes the safe smoking kits supplies that have been the focus of some recent articles regarding crack pipes. Other items on the list were infectious disease testing kits, safe sex kits. Yeah. So, anyways, they're not giving out crack pipes. They're giving out what are these safe smoking kits and supplies. So, there's also they said that in addition to this, they're giving out free syringes. We're not attacking the problem. We're just making the problem safer. That's what it is. That's exactly what it is. We're not going to give you a program to help you get out of abusing drugs or get out of smoking crack. We're not going to help you with the problem. We're going to help make the problem safe. That's exactly what it is. So, what exactly are these safe smoking kits? Well, I'm going to look it up right here. Safe smoking kits. Where was it at? But that was the fact check, though. Was that no? There's not. I gotta find it myself. Apparently. the question is, what is a safe smoking kit? Here we go. And I will actually pull you over. I wanted to make sure I was in the right thing because when you look up safe smoking kits in the news, it's all fact checking. They don't tell you what the hell a safe smoking kit is. They just tell you that no, you're wrong. They're talking about what a safe smoking kit is. But you come over here to images, and you come down, and the very first one, this right here. This is CBC. I don't know what this is. I think it's Canada because it's a .ca, so it's Canada. Go away. How safe inhalation kits can help prevent the spread of hepatitis C. This is from 2018. This is what a safe inhalation kit is. Now, I am not blind. I see the Elevate NWO. Let me check and make sure I'm still doing all right. Yeah. I understand this. Provides harm reduction kits as a safer alternative to bloody needles and used equipment. Providing information to the public regarding how safe inhalation kits can help people prevent the spread of hepatitis C. They are talking about these new things helping prevent HIV and the cove and all the other crap. The safe inhalation kits include a mouthpiece, pipe screens, a wooden stick, a glass pipe, and a leaflet on how to smoke crack safely. Wait, what? Wait, what? And it even says it down here too. I think it's hilarious. The picture they have here. The safe inhalation kit provides a wooden dowel, which is a stick, to be able to help you clean the nonsense out of your pipe. A glass pipe, which is what you smoke out of. A mouthpiece, which means that you can take the mouthpiece off of the pipe and put new ones on. Pipe screens, which anyone that's smoked pot understands that you need to have a screen in there so that you're not, inhaling like pure, pot leaves. The same thing goes with crack. I have never smoked crack. Don't even start with that nonsense. But I've seen people smoke crack. You don't. I've never seen people smoke crack out of a bowl, which is like a pipe that has like the big end on it. It's a bowl. I've never seen them smoke it out of a bowl before. Every time I've ever seen people smoke crack, it's with a little tiny pipe with a screen over it, out of an aluminum foil. That's what it is, because you don't need much to smoke crack. You really don't. That's why they wrap them in aluminum. That way, all you gotta do is just open up the aluminum, put a lighter underneath it, and just smoke it straight out of the aluminum. That's how it works. But you need the screens there in order so it doesn't come up the pipe and go down your throat, because that's just nasty. The funniest thing, though, is a leaflet highlighting safe crack smoking tips. Safer crack smoking tips. What does this say exactly? To make your stem last longer, move the flame along the whole stem, letting the stem cool down before using it again. This will help stop breaking and cracking. What the hell? Always use your own stem. HIV and hepatitis can be spread by sharing. If you have to share, always use your own mouthpiece. I can't even. I don't even want to go through the rest of this because I think it's just fucking ridiculous. So, anyways, the fact check is that fact checking Republicans claim of crack pipes and smoking kits, and then they show this picture. They show this picture of a crack pipe. It's like, this is what they think that they're handing out. No. This is what it is. This is a crack pipe. That's what a crack pipe is. This stuff right here, I'm sure people have. These things cost money. This right here, this is nothing. This is like $1. This is nothing. You can get this for super cheap. This is what people smoke crack out of. Just right out of the aluminum foil. That's how it works. They're using your own ignorance against you. They're using your own ignorance against you, because most people don't know how people smoke crack. I've seen it. My ex-girlfriend, her friends, I've had other people that I've known, they just do it right out in front of you. They don't care. They'll pull it right out, smoke it right there, and it's like it's the nastiest smell of burning plastic ever. It was just the worst. I was like, what? Why would you put that in your lungs? It's nasty. But it's what it is. It's what people do. So they're not fighting the problem; they're making the problem safer. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I got it wrong. I'm sorry that I had to be fact checked. That my best Dennis Hopper impersonation I was thinking about today was, "Oh, a single tear runs down my face. I am so sorry that I had to do this." But pardon my French, really, but motherfucker, that's a crack pipe. That's what you're giving out. Safe smoking kit. That's crack pipe. Don't even give me that horse crap. That's insane, man. It's insane. Plus, they also were saying, giving out free needles, clean needles, so that people that shoot up, they can have clean needles. What's going to save a drug addict more? Helping them get over the addiction, or keeping them safe from viruses? That is such a joke. Such an absolute joke. And I know there's going to be people that'll be like, well, they're doing really, they're doing good work for helping people. That's not good work. That's your what's the word? You're feeding into their nonsense. You're not giving them any better hope of having anything better. You're enabling them. That's the word I was looking for. You're enabling them to be worse. That's exactly what you're doing. All you're doing is you're enabling drug users to keep being drug users. You're not helping them. That's not helping. $30 million of your tax money is going out to giving crack pipes that are inside of these safe smoking kits. They're crack pipes. I'm sorry. They're not giving out bowls. They're giving out crack pipes. I talk about media manipulation all the time. That is 100% media manipulation. That is a crack pipe. And they're just handing them out. Using your money. They're handing them out. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? You ain't going to do nothing. You ain't going to do nothing because you think that everything's going to be okay if you just let it go. And it's not. You think you're gonna change it by voting, and you're definitely not gonna do that. You ain't gonna do nothing by voting. I don't know what else to say here. I don't know what else to say. I know you definitely don't shut down your supply lines with a trucker strike. That's just gonna. That within itself is that within itself is pretty scary because all that's doing is hurting the people in the stores. That's all that ever did. This tyranny, this world government that they are making, this tyrannical dictatorship that they are putting together, this great reset only comes when they destroy everything that you had before. One of those things is to destroy the food market. They are more than ready to give you fake food, processed food, to give you bugs in your food, to give you anything and everything that you could want that's not actual real food. The only thing that they have to really kick out of stores is all the fresh food, the fresh produce, the meats, all the other stuff. And the only way that gets to you is on trucks. And they got you to believe that a trucker strike is the best thing that you can do. Where's your food? Were you ready for it? Where's your food? You played yourselves because they got you to believe that this was a good thing. Instead of striking, we should have been taking this stuff to the stores from the beginning and not listening to government mandates. That would have been the best protest, is to just go along with your life. But no, you decided, hey, we'll just shut down our supply lines. That's my opinion on that too. I said it when it happened in Australia, and now Australia is twice as bad as they were. And now it's happening here, and sure enough, for the first time since we've moved here, our shelves are starting to get empty. Now, a lot of people will blame the weather. Yes, we did have the problems with the weather. Everybody, for whatever reason, tends to panic and go out and buy everything off the shelves. Whenever, bad weather happens, even though we only got 4 inches, really, if you're going to freak out over 4 inches, then you need to man up, because 4 inches is not going to kill you. I've lived in Indiana for long enough to understand that 4 inches of snow is not a lot, especially whenever they threaten you, which is something I've noticed too, is that every time we start saying, oh, we're going to get snow, the first thing they start saying is, oh, we're going to get like 4 feet of snow, or something like that. They were talking about 8 to 12 inches. And yeah, 8 to 12 inches is bad. But we didn't get 8 to 12 inches. We got 4. And I kept telling everybody, it's not going to be as bad as everybody says it is. It's not going to be that bad. It's really not going to be that bad. But again, nobody wanted to listen. And everybody went out, bought out the stores of all the perishable goods so that nobody else could have them. I got to stop. I got to go. I gotta quit complaining. We might pick this stuff up later. You never know. Seriously though, man, crack pipes. Just saying. Just crack pipes. They won't give out free insulin, or, allergy medication or anything, but they'll give out crack pipes. So anyways, you guys take care of yourselves. God bless you all. Stay safe. Keep your eyes open. Understand what's happening. Pray. Pray unceasingly. Pray. I shall talk to you guys later.